it's conservative.
If you're looking for something liberal
and realistic, this is the place to be.
Hello, welcome to yet another podcast on the podcast with no name. Last week we discussed unequal yoking, and we just briefly touched on it. We gave a few examples on what unequal yoking looked like. We also looked at, we also went into where the concept of unequal yoking comes from, and we agreed and we discovered that donkeys and cows cannot be on the same yoke. Only who talk with us. That's the only place that happens in Zimbabwe, well, according to Natasha. But the idea behind unequal yoking means that you have to be somewhat of the same fit, right? In terms of size, the two cattle have to be the same heights. They must be both trained. Those stubborn ones have to be hit sometimes until they get into form. And we also then looked at, we also agreed that in terms of relationships, finances play a big role. Okay, I think that's the only one we touched in full. Most of them we are yet to conclude on them, right? So today we want to look at factors that contribute or that could lead to unequal yoking in any kind of relationship. It could be business, it could be family, it could be relationships, marriage as well. And we want to look at those, all right? Once again, on my left is Natasha. On my right again, on my immediate right is Natasha. And we have Kuda to my far right. All right, welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we also have two people who will be contributing from the background. We have Paida and we have Paul. So, all right. So let's discuss the factors that contribute to unequal yoking. What's the first one?
All right, so we have class.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to class, why are you laughing, guys? When you have class, we're comparing whether you are middle class, lower class, or upper class, right?
Okay.
So according to me, it's not proper for a guy who is in the upper class to date a girl who's in the lower class. For example, the guy lives in Borodobrook and this girl lives in Bari. So for me, it's normal. Actually, it's a girl who lives in Borodobrook and the guy lives in Bari. Yes. So we can't. Myself as a girl, I can't really go to someone who lives in Bari because, in terms of class, we're not of the same class. Maybe where he lives, he's used to maybe cooking with magaba and using wuni and all that. And then when he comes to me, I'm used to. We were supposed to switch onto the generator when electricity has gone.
Well, electricity actually goes.
Maybe when. Maybe when it goes, then we switch. You know how it is with CESA, guys. Everywhere is affected. So we're now switching onto the generator, or maybe we have a solar system which is capable of lighting everything in the household. But now there's Ronald from Bari, and Ronald we're supposed to be switching from electricity to the generator, and you'll be like, that's an expense, bruh. We can't be buying a generator for what? We can easily fetch firewood and then we then start using it. For me, it's not really appropriate.
Okay. Class. What do you think about class?
Yeah, that's a very controversial point right there. You can. I mean, it's possible to actually date from different classes, but the challenges will come now when you want to get married. Your families might not be in agreement of that arrangement. let's say we've had several incidences of where maybe someone dating from the royal class, and yet he's coming from the family of musicians. I'm not gonna name the names, but something like that. So the dad, like from the royal class, may not be in agreement with her daughter being married to a person who's coming from background of something like that. So you might be in agreement, you two, it's fine. But the essence of you getting married, it's building relationships between two families. So if they can't agree, so that's unequal yoking in its effect.
Well, I think if it's normal if a girl comes from Bari and the boy comes from Borodale Brooks, that one is normal.
It's okay like
It's
that.
fine like that. Not when he comes from Borodale and he comes from Bari. Because if he comes from Borodale and we are to get married, obviously I'll have to respect him because already he's providing for me. And he's also providing for my family, and they'll also respect him because he's giving them something in return, other than maybe he's not working. He's coming from Bari, he's not working. I'm coming from Borodale, and maybe I'm the one who's supposed to take goods to his place, and he has nothing to offer to where I'm coming from. So they won't even respect him at all. And they're always going to call him names. They'll say he's lame. So, you see.
He's the one who's sent to buy drinks when we run out of drinks.
Yes, and you see when there's a funeral or maybe he's the one who's going to work very hard to cut firewood, to fetch water, everything, all those errands, they'll always send him. But the rich in Pasha now, they'll always respect that one and he won't have to work.
Yes,
Also,
like
you'll
Pasha.
be bringing catering. Yes.
And also, I think what will cause that to happen, like for you to go to the extreme ends, like going for a very low class than yours, is because there will be no option.
Okay.
Because in your class, you should have gone for people of your class.
There has to be someone in your class.
She gave an example that in Togo, they use a donkey and a cow, which means that there will not be two donkeys there. That's the reason why they will go for.
It's a last resort.
Yeah, it's a last resort.
For me, I would like to say moyo mutu no mera kwa uno. It's really difficult for me to control my heart to not like someone from Bari if I'm a guy. And also it's easier for a guy to teach the girl their own standards to say, I want you to wear like this because they can easily buy me stuff like the clothes they want me to wear, the hair they want me to put on and all that. Unlike me as a girl, teaching him and buying him things. Exactly. You won't even accept it. You feel less of a man.
Okay.
You might accept it to use me.
Let's hear from Prida. Let's hear from Prida.
I personally believe that there are people who were born in Bari, but they are white or they are of class in themselves. And there are people who were born in Borodale, but they have the ghetto mentality.
The ghetto like that.
So I would like to believe that we don't choose our families where we are coming from. So no one chooses to start their life born in Borodale or born in Bari. But there are people the minute that you get to Semilevi village, they're coming from Bari, they just switch. They are no longer speaking in Shona. They have perfect English and all. And that person can be groomed. It's just that they are staying there in Bari, but really they are from that class, from Borodale. They are from Brook even. They are from States even.
Yeah.
And there are people who, the minute that they get to town, just the city center, already they are listening to Zim Danso and stuff. And you wonder, is this person coming from Borodale, really? The way that they don't understand cricket, we show you with, this person is straight from, yes, they were born in Borodale, but they are Bari.
Yeah, but
So, you may be coming from Bari even as a girl or even as a guy, but with a Borodale mentality. You can be equally yoked to someone who is coming from Borodale because your mentality is also a Borodale class mentality.
All right, I would like to say that maybe we should not associate class with where the person stays. Like
So
she's
what is
saying,
class?
it
What is
will
class?
affect you in the future, not in the relationship.
Relationship
Relationship, we are only
the relationship,
pretending,
guys.
Let her
It
just
can
define what
affect in
class
the
is.
relationship. Like Paida was saying that when someone goes to Borodobrook, whether they're coming from Bari or wherever they're coming from, they'll automatically switch into the groove same live. So maybe class has to also do with the way you carry yourself out. So maybe you're from Bari, but your dressing says otherwise. The way you communicate with the other person says otherwise.
So are you saying that you can Brook and Bari can actually be equally yoked in terms of class?
It depends now.
Okay. But if this person can't people be taught some of these things like how to hold the fork
Like
and
I
knife?
said, for ladies, it's easier for them to be taught, unlike for guys.
can easily
They'll
adjust.
still be told to say, how is this girl telling me what to do?
Men
If you
have
have read-
insecurity issues.
Exactly. If you have read this book, which men are from Mars and women are from Venus, it actually says that men have this pride in them to such an extent that if you want to tell them, like to give them a solution to a problem, they'll not really listen to you if you're a woman. But if you go to
depends on
Kuda,
the
it's
man.
easier for you to listen to what Kuda has to advise you, unlike it is easy for you to accept what I have to. So it means that I can't change you and start teaching you to say, Ron, you need to wear like this, you need to eat like this, like the table manners that you need to have. It's hard for you, unlike it is for a woman to accept when you teach her.
But you are coming from Bordeaux, right? I'm assuming Bordeaux, if you're rich, it means you're rich. If you're in the brook,
Sometimes.
sometimes. It also means that you're a person of
Staying in a
influence.
cottage in Bordeaux.
That's a very expensive neighbor.
Yeah, listen to me. It means you are rich. It means you also have influential friends. Why not get your boyfriend
From there.
a job?
Where's
Then he can actually take care of you.
instead of him taking care of me, there are high chances that he's going to look for another person, and then he'll say, "Yeah, this is now my new class."
So the problem
You will
is
leave
really
you.
not with us.
No, it's with you.
You guys have a problem because you leave me and then you go and date another girl. Now, because I have groomed you, I have changed you. You know, you are now you feel like
You're more important than
Exactly.
what the level I had made you to reach.
I have seen people who sacrifice for their boyfriends, like they train them through school, they find them jobs, they buy them clothes, and when the boy is now a lawyer,
Yeah.
and the girl is maybe a vendor, you know, you were sacrificing by make sure you would make sure you give him school fees with that little money you're getting from your little business. And when he's now a lawyer, you just go and date a doctor. People
you
now
say
say
you're
you're in
not
my
my
class. You see, so
Let's give Pride a chance.
okay, I personally believe that it goes both ways. No one wants to be reminded of their past experiences,
Thank you.
especially when it comes to poverty.
Thank you so much.
So you may have groomed someone, but you are a gentle reminder of the background that they came from, the poverty that they were in. So in most cases, even if you may not mention it, but with girls, they have a tendency of actually saying, Dinda kakusimudza, Dinda kazochaza. So men generally don't want to be reminded of that. So yes, after grooming him, he doesn't want you to be the constant reminder of his poverty. So he's going to move on with someone else who is going to appreciate where they are now. And not only that, even with girls, even if you don't remind them, these ones, they will always do. Even with girls also, we don't want to be reminded to say that he's the one who sent me through Form 4, he's the one who made me write maths, he's the one who got me this job. We don't want to have a constant reminder. That's why people move on with someone else. So in other words, when this relationship started, they were not equally yoked. It was a convenience. You wanted benefits from this one, and this one wanted benefits from this one. Not only that, Natasha, you mentioned something And I'm just thinking that you may be accepting it that I have a boyfriend who is from Borodale and I'm from Bari as a female. Families play a part in that. Imagine you are now having a function. You are having a function and your family is invited. I've attended one wedding. Where these two, the couple, were in agreement. But then at that wedding, the parents of the girl were now giving their gifts. They are just giving gifts. It's a simple thing. But what they are giving houses. They are giving cars to this couple. To them, they are saying they are giving to this couple. But then your parents are also there, and their gift is a car which one more area. So imagine, you may be in agreement, you the couple, but then this other families, they are already showing that these are of a high class, we are of a lower class, because these are rich, we are poor.
No, but
And people will start comparing the gifts. Kuti vekumkadzi, what have they offered? Vekumurume, what have they offered?
So, okay, fine. That's, to me, seems like a failure on you, the two people in the relationship. Kutaza kusimudzirana, you know? If you know that this is going to happen, or if you know that this affects the next family, then why is it that you are doing things that are offensive to your partner?
Because I think that instead of you maybe allowing people to say out their gifts at the wedding, you could just protect the other family by not saying out your gifts. You just come to the podium and then you say your speech and that's it.
But guys, come on. Listen.
That can only happen whereby you ask all the other people to go to that table and then you write your gifts, you give them your receipts. But as for your parents, it's always a norm. They should say out their gifts. It's not really a norm. I attend a lot of weddings and I've seen a couple of weddings whereby people will just say we're not going to announce anything as a way to protect the other family. You can tell when you're at the wedding to say this other family is actually not as well off as the other family. That can happen if you get your boyfriend from Borodale and they're from Borodale. If you get your boyfriend from Borodale and they're from Bari, you always do this.
I've noticed that those who are coming from poor families want to say out their gifts. So the minute that you tell them that may you give a speech, instead of giving a speech, they will start saying, we have this one coming from this one, and they have this and this. And normally the MCs are forced now to say, since this family has started, let the other not participate. And it will seem like a show off, but then it's normally those who are coming from the poor class, the attendants.
So that you poor class, guys, who are regular. Don't just say out things. You go to the same class.
Let's get into Paul.
All right. What I want to say is that I think we've got a problem with the issue or the understanding of the term class. For me, personally, I don't subscribe to class.
Okay.
As a person. Why? Because I think we don't understand what class is all about. Because I've always asked, can you define what class is? And people have not been able to define. Right, for example, I'll give you an example. You meet at college. You're coming from okay, no, we don't meet at college. Okay, you meet wherever. You're coming from a rich family, but you are unlearned. You are uneducated. I'm coming from. I'm not educated, but I'm rich. But the society will tell you that you can marry each other. But is that class? Are we in the same class? No. According to what you guys are saying, no. So what I'm trying to say is that what I believe should be the name that we should use is called differences, not class.
Okay.
Because when you talk about class, now you have to involve good, better, best. West, West. That's class.
Lower, mid.
Yes. Yeah. So now that becomes a problem. Because what are you comparing with? And then how do then the word that I've usually used is compatibility. Are you compatible? Are you looking at life from the same eye lenses?
Despite the class.
Despite the class. I may not be educated. You might be having a degree or a PhD, and I don't even have a diploma, but I value education. So when we have kids and we say, you know what, let's try and send them to the best school, I will not interject because I value education, though I'm not educated. So compatibility should be the way to be used. What class? You not end this
I
thing.
think that
hold on,
education is another factor.
hold on.
Class is another factor.
I think we need to come to a conclusion on class. All right. And because we've got many other factors
Yes.
that we need to discuss, right? We need to close off class and then we move to the next one as well. So with class, personally, I don't think it should be a determining factor because these are things you can learn. You can learn how to use fork and knife. You can learn how to drag the chair for your lady and let her sit down.
Okay.
If that is what we are calling class.
Okay.
I believe even, like I said, you can get your boyfriend a job. Then he can start affording your $500 Brazilian.
But you feel insecure.
Okay,
That's not going to end well.
is that going to end well?
Because you are going to get married and he's going to show me his real face.
So then you need to then learn how to keep up because which then nullifies the issue of class. Because if he then matches up to your class and you feel he's going to leave you, then the issue was not on class. It was on something else. Incompatibility in other areas. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I nullify class as a factor for unequal yoking. Yes. Yeah, I think we can finish with class and let's move on to the next one.
Alright. The next one is someone's past.
Someone's past. Okay. Someone's past. Past traumas. Maybe they were raped. Maybe they
They've once
come
been
from
in prison.
sorry?
They've once been in a prison.
No,
Yes, ex-convict. Me, I can't tolerate.
you can't tolerate.
Yeah.
But this is a past. Okay? Someone's past. Why should it affect you now?
I think understanding or studying the past can make you have a decision of what action you need to take present and in the future. Because if someone, like what you said, was raped, right? You can't expect that person to be a virgin, for example. She was raped, right? So you're getting into this thing knowing already what's there. So the past is important for you to come up with the actions that you're going to take further in your relationship whatsoever, be it business or relationships. Because if you engage in for example, you get into a partnership with a guy who was blacklisted by the financial institutions of not paying debts, right? Then you are in a transactional relationship with that person. One or the other, history is going to repeat itself. So yeah.
What happened to forgive and forget?
You can forgive, but forgiving doesn't mean that you're going to accept
Everything and anything
Yes.
that comes from that person.
Yes.
I'd like to give an example of, let's say, you're getting into a relationship with a person whose past has been them cheating on their partners. You can't really tell me to say forgive and forgive. Like, this person has a record to say they are cheaters. To say, like, this person, Anuto Ziganoti, the last person they dated, they cheated on you with the other person and they broke up with that other person to come to you. So are you going to forgive and forget?
Or maybe, are you saying if someone sleeps with a girl, or maybe that's his behavior of sleeping with girls, and then he gets infected with HIV and AIDS virus. So when he comes to me, I should just forgive him, and then we continue and get married.
I think you should talk about certain things. If there's a past issue, if you've heard it from them and you ask, I think you should ask. I think if it comes to that, you need to ask. Let me finish. You need to ask and clarify. I'm hearing that, or from my background check, I found out that you have a tendency of breaking up with this person for the next person. I hear that in your past life, you were a fraudster. And we want to entrust you as an accountant in our business. You know, you need to clarify and you need to ask questions and then understand, is this the standing? How long have they since they stopped? You know, Paida, what do you have to say?
I actually think that knowing someone's past record is actually important. For example, Tash gave the example of being an ex-convert. And let's look at business. They were doing fraud in their business, isn't it? So they were arrested because of that. They were stealing money. Now I know that if I'm to engage in a business with them, they shouldn't have access to money. So knowing the past record actually helps in ensuring that can these two be yoked or they cannot be yoked. And also, I'm just thinking of the past record. Let's look at an example where one, in a relationship, one has children. Are you okay with becoming a stepfather? So that past record actually, because people have their resolutions, and they've stated that when I'm going to engage in a relationship, I should look at this and this and this, and this means we are unequally yoked. We both should enjoy the benefits of having the first child together. So already knowing that past will tell you that we are unequally yoked with this respect. Could I mention something to do with someone has been married? They lost their virginity because they have been married. So knowing their past, some people now have closed their thoughts and feelings towards the physical actions or physical contact with anyone. So you need to know, are you going to have a marriage where they'll feel raped every time you engage, or they've healed from it? So the past experience is actually important. Have they gone for therapy? Yes, they went through this, but have they gone for therapy? If not, how am I going to help them? I remember Pastor Katrusha actually mentioned when he was talking about relationship that you ought to marry what you are.
Yes. If you are rich.
Thank you. And also, I think some things are better off left unsaid. Yes, or maybe unasked, if ever there's something like that. Because Ronald is saying, I need to ask this person to say, I've heard your past to say you cheat on people you get into a relationship with. Obviously they're going to lie. You guys know it better. And it's sweet. You try to look for exactly. You make things, you spice things up to such an extent. I'll be trapped and I'll then engage into a relationship with you. And the same things that you used to do to other girls actually happen to me. And so I think sometimes it's better for you to just do your research and you find out that this person is someone who does engage with the cheating and all that, and then you leave them.
What if I've changed? Changed, girl.
I
And
think
you are the one.
you know what? What I believe is God doesn't waste resources.
Okay.
Yes, so you should just date the girls who cheat. That's what you can get. Be equally yoked because thank you.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We want to agree or disagree that the past contributes to some form of unequal yoking. I'll give it to Paul, and then we get into our last words for this segment. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just say maybe because I've got a point that I wanted to talk about. But obviously, the past is what makes us.
Yes.
So you realize that you're in a relationship with somebody who's not emotionally there. And then when you find out what happened, they were abused when they were young. That's why they're acting in a manner that they're acting. So the past is something that needs to be talked about. And if you can get help, I think the person must get help before you. Because sometimes we come into relationships with baggages of the past, and then they actually create problems for the current relationship. But I wanted to say this, that as Christians, from a Christian point of view, I think the problem that young people have is that, and even old ones, is that if you go and read the first account, God Adam and Eve, you realize that when God created Adam, the first thing that Adam saw in front of him was God. When God created Eve, he made sure that Adam is asleep. And then so that when Eve comes into life, the first thing that she saw was God. So here's the point. Why did God do that? It is because when Adam must have an experience with God first. Eve must have her own experience with God. When they both have experiences with God on separate occasions, then they can come together and have their own experience. But this is what's happening now. I date this one, she has no experience with God, I don't even have an experience with God. Or maybe she has an experience with God, I don't have an experience with God. So when we meet, it's disaster. So my words are, final words are saying, let's first have an experience with God on individual basis before then we date. Because once we do that, then we know who God is. We understand God. We bring love, loyalty, and everything into the relationship. Now I don't know if can work for the meaning, because we know who God is, we fear God, we know what should be done. Whether you are rich and I'm poor, that will not matter. Because we've got Jesus as the common denominator. If I'm rich and you're poor, I'll cover your poorness. If you are unlearned and I'm educated, I try to push you. Listen, these things that will happen, but that can only happen if you first have an experience with God, and you also have an experience with God, and then we meet together. We're good to go.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to say that it's not really my last words, but I want to say that on your point, there's a Shona proverb which says, "Shiri nemri roa if you say Vacheti Shiri inemri roa, it means good. It's something that it's now used to. So if you're used to cheating or if you're used to fraud, it means that you're continuously going to engage into those activities. So it means that for someone who's doing their background check, you need to stay away from those people and not engage in whatever relationship that you were thinking was possible between the two of you.
Okay. Yeah, last words from you guys.
Yeah, and I think from what Paul was saying, my last words, it takes a woman who is humble to then be able to feed his husband, provide for his husband, then he won't even have a problem with that. But if you usingakwanise kuzvininipisa as a woman, then you won't be able to respect that person. You will be saying, me, I have a master's, you don't have a degree, I'm more learned than you are. So it takes one who is humble, if you're a lady or if you're a woman, to then be able to respect that man.
Okay.
Okay, my last words are, we need to understand who we are before we try to, put ourselves on yokes. We must understand who we are, what we want to achieve, and where we are going. In short, Tanazo no Shigera. That's the very basis of yoking, whether it's equal or unequal.
And Rorane Matongo.
But mostly time
Okay, last words from Peda, then we wrap up.
Okay, I wanted to say that I beg to differ with what Natasha said. I personally believe that there's a past, but people can change. Paul had a Damascus experience. And he changed from being a murderer to being the most powerful evangelist and disciple ever. So, looking at the past record, my favorite writer says, what has been his past record? What has been her past record? So yes, look at that past record, but is it still the past or is it actually the present? If it is in the past, they have moved on. Remember, people change. Mary Magdalene, she was something else, but she became something else. So people change, but have they changed is the question. So look at the past, it's important. But is it the past or still the present? That's what also we should look at when we are looking at being unequally yoked.
Okay. All right. In this podcast, we have been discussing class and the past as factors contributing to unequal yoking. And I'm sure there's a general consensus that while both of those matter, But if there is a willingness from the other person to learn, for example, if it's class, if they are willing to step up and learn how to be classy, if there is a past trend of someone who used to cheat, and if they are willing to change their ways, then there is at a certain point where you can become equally yoked and you can actually move at the same pace. However, it is advisable to stay away, is it? To stay away if you realize that there is a past record of this person. You yourself, are you willing to live with the baggage that comes with someone's past or with someone's class or whatever it is? So this is it for this podcast. We do hope you're enjoying, and see you in the next episode.
If it's conservative,
If you're looking for something liberal,
and realistic, this is the place to be.